Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Different News. Today, I am here with my gorgeous guest, as you can all see on screen, Chloe Barrett, the founder of Immersify Education, where Chloe has revolutionized using technology, particularly augmented reality, and there are more things inside. So, we will hear from her directly. Welcome, Chloe, and thank you so much for being here and accepting my invite and coming to my podcast. It's a pleasure and honor to have you today on this platform.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me, Guardi, onto the podcast.
So, Chloe, it will be an interesting thing to understand, like how you started your journey. Then, from there, today you are the founder of Immersify. So, I know it's a long journey, but if you can tell us in brief, that would be very nice to understand and get inspired from your story.
Yeah, of course. So my background started in hygiene therapy. I then moved into education, so qualified as a teacher. I was really interested in how we could learn in such a practical area, such as dentistry, and really wanted to help this generation of students. And then I moved into running dental educational academies. So these were small academies run predominantly throughout the UK. And that's where really I started to really understand the educational system, building different curriculums in dentistry, predominantly postgrad, plus continuous professional development, and also apprenticeship qualifications. So that's really where I got the understanding of how the education system works from an educational curriculum delivery. And that's actually where the seed was planted for Immersify. So I was really looking for something as a teacher, and also for the teachers that I employed throughout these academies. We were trying to find something that wasn't just PowerPoint, wasn't just a book, or segmented educational resources. There's good educational resources on the market. There's amazing experts and specialists that we have in dentistry and education. However, what we're missing, and I'll come on to really why Immersify was created and what we're doing, is bringing all the experts and more immersive and more engaging content into one platform. So I was looking for something exactly like that. So not just introducing segmented videos, or for example, my students used to come to me with videos off YouTube. YouTube is brilliant for many things, but for standardized content, it isn't as good. So for example, if it was extracting a tooth and it was 5 years old, we then had to say, no, this is not the correct procedure. You do it like this now. So the students were really actively also themselves trying to find more engaging content. And so I wanted to introduce this to our faculty members, our teachers, plus the students. I couldn't find anything on the market that was very standardized, very expertly done, not just gimmicky, because there is a lot of technologies, of course, that are advancing in the edtech landscape, but actually the issue we have is they have to be used for value. They have to have an outcome from using them. We don't want to just introduce technology for the sake of introducing technology. So that's exactly why Immersify was created. So I had seen also McLaren did the first marker-based AR car using augmented reality. And I was really intrigued at how we could bring content to life through augmented reality, and really it can be really engaging. So I exited that previous company, and I started what is now Immersify. And so what we do in a nutshell is we really bring content to life. We're a gold standard for educational content and resources. So in one platform, you can have everything on every topic, every module you study at university for dentistry, hygiene therapy, for dental nurses, dental assistants. You're able to access the content you're able to use it as you wish to use it. And so this is for faculty and for students. So yeah, we use, as you've mentioned, we use augmented reality. We also use artificial intelligence for personalized learning. We also use gamification, so making it fun and engaging, because dentistry being such a visual academic area, we really want to make it more practical in and outside the classroom.
I think it's mind blowing. I mean, it's a game changer, I must say, because as we have learned from our childhood, or I think this is a very common, saying that a picture speaks more than anything, and our brain understands picture. But I think here, with the help of technology, we are not only seeing picture, but we are playing with it. I mean, it's something creates a very good impression on the brain, particularly when we are students and when we are learning. And as you rightly say, that dentistry is more about visual, and particularly the earlier years of dentistry, when we actually don't work on patient, and we it's more of theory. So in those parts, I think it's fantastic. And of course, like the later modules, like as you said, that everything is available. So it's very interesting to learn about the inception of Immersify, and thank you so much for that. So I was just thinking one thing, like as we are speaking, all these technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, talking about, of course, AI, living in an era of AI now. So, or probably I can also put in another term, animation. So, how do being in from the industry? So, how do you see these technologies transforming the education system as a whole? Of course, dentistry and beyond. If you can share your insights.
Of course. I think they're going to make huge, huge changes. As you've just mentioned earlier in regards to, content being visual, there is that piece of visualizing content, feeling like that content is in front of your eyes, that you can touch, feel, interact with the content, and which is much, much more powerful. And I think also technologies such as, I know AI is very much in the market, it's a buzzword at the moment. And I think it's being filtered, as a lot of technologies have been. Some will be for good and some will just not make any sense. Things like, or, artificial intelligence, or AI, should I say, for personalized learning, or, personalized patient care. And I think that's going to there's going to be huge, huge changes on these technologies. And I really see them as empowering our teachers and students of today. We are not taking away with these technologies any form of human interaction, and nor should we. We can never, we'll always be able to learn most effectively in, with a patient, in a real patient environment. We have amazing technology to support us with that, but what we do specifically at Immersify, we really bridge the gap between theory and practical. But I think these technologies they're already making a huge impact. And the other thing I would love to touch on is, well, two other things, is how the technologies, while we're interacting with content, as you mentioned, 3D animations, and we see things then three-dimensional, and that's exactly how it should be. We shouldn't just see things 2D form on a piece of paper or a PowerPoint. And I think that's going to be, that is a huge, huge learning gain. We can learn things much quicker, more efficient, and feel more confident moving forward. And I also think in regards to how we feel about that. So there's lots in marketing that when we see something in marketing, it's actually how we feel emotionally. So how it hits our emotions, not what we really see. So I'm sure everyone have heard this. It's how we feel after seeing something or interacting with something. So we feel the emotion a lot longer than we do just witnessing something or seeing something. So it's how something makes us feel. So if we interact with a piece of content, that really we gain confidence from that. We interact with it and feel, wow, I've just got, 100% on this assessment, but I've taken it 3 times, but I know how to fail safely now, and I feel good after using this platform, for example, this type of technology. That's what's going to last with us as humans a lot longer than just trying to learn in a form that does not suit us as humans, so people. And there's that piece, and I think the other piece to it is data. We need to understand how these technologies are really impacting learning. So we have a huge data analytics portal through Immersify, and we've been building that for a long time. So every piece of content is tracked, so the student can understand how they're doing, but also any teachers and faculty members delivering the content can understand where that student is up to, and the whole class. And so I think going to that data-driven evidence is really key. And so these technologies can absolutely bring that and be part of that data side. So I would say all these technologies, if we're using them, we really need data points to really support them as well.
Thank you, Chloe. That was very practical and practical insights that you shared. And one thing I would pick up what you said, and it is very pertinent, that with these technologies, some because now we see that many content goes out like telling, okay, AI is going to replace a teacher or a doctor or a dentist. That's not going to happen anytime, because humans are creating it, so humans will be there. So the best part is that this kind of technologies or the products like how Immersify is bringing and trying to revolutionize the entire education in this way, it will help fast track the learning process, as well as another key point which I would like to take up, and just maybe I'm summarizing what you said, that the data points, because I think in today's world this is very important. Whether we are studying offline, our teachers are teaching, we have an examination system in every country to evaluate, but personally I feel that's not enough, because sometimes a very good student doesn't perform well on the exam day, and that doesn't mean that person is not good. So I think here Immersify definitely plays a very big role at this point, and of course we will see a brighter future coming with Immersify. I'm sure, Chloe, that you are not from coming from a technology background, as far as my knowledge or understanding goes about your academic journey. So I'm sure that when you are trying to build this, high technology assisted platform, you have faced a lot of challenges. So would you like to share some of the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them?
Yeah, of course. And you are correct. I had no technical background. I know a lot more now, 5, 6 years down the line, than I've, of course, ever knew before. But I'm still not the one who's coding or building Immersify from a technology point of view. However, of course, very much involved in what technologies we use. But yeah, as I suppose the starting point, it was really trying to find support in the technology field. I did get introduced to my co-founder and CTO, Maxwell Boardman, who, of course, had that technology career and understanding and was a professional in the space. So we really joined forces with my background in business and operations and growing businesses, and his background also in academia and technology as well as education. So we really then joined forces to be able to create what is Immersify now. And absolutely, we've come across loads of different obstacles, loads of different challenges along the way. I think, firstly, the most complex challenge is definitely trying to not just put a product or platform in the market, but actually educate people as we are doing it, because it's not just educating on the technology, it's educating on the benefits of why now, what are the reasons for Immersify, where does it fit into the curriculum, how do we use it. So we really have created, and I think we're still on this journey of absolutely streamlining that message and continuing to adapt as our technologies grow and the platform expands into the other academic areas, even outside of dentistry. We are also trying to educate the market on these technologies and how to use them to the best advantage. So I think it's not just that we've got a platform that there is we have no direct competitor. So we've really been leading in the space we're in. And that's also why it's taken us this, a number of years to build it, because we've been really focused on how robust the platform needs to be to really scale and to really offer this to a global market. So yeah, with that, I would say probably the most challenging thing is making sure that the technologies are used in the best way they can be used, and the platforms adopted in the best manner it can be adopted in, and there is as least confusion as possible to what we're doing and why we're doing it, and the technologies that we're implementing. And as you mentioned, we also are thinking about that piece on AI is going to replace people. It's going to make people not have the role they have, but actually it's absolutely not that at all. These technologies are here to empower people, and that's how we absolutely see it. If we can, for example, if educators, if they're building PowerPoints or their own resource internally, it's going to take a long time, which it does. Equally, it takes a long time to keep everything updated. None of us have got a full army behind us to build loads of immersive resources. It's impossible. So really working with third-party providers and educational partners like Immersify is critical for the growth of universities. So really just educating on where we fit in to that educational system as well. But we're making huge strides with that, and we've got some amazing trusted partners globally. So looking forward to introducing Immersify to more and more universities and supporting them throughout their delivery.
Thank you, Chloe, for that comprehensive answer. And I think, it will. You are pioneering in this field. Of course, it will take little time to, change a little bit of behavior of the market in understanding and the substantial benefits of this kind of integration. And secondly, I think also a mindset. There is a traditional mindset, and I think it doesn't depend on country, it just varies from countries to country, but every country, the system has a traditional mindset. So but I'm sure that with the adoption of fast adoption of such technologies, we are seeing a havoc growth in this when it comes to integration of technology. So I think it's a very good time for Immersify that has come, and of course in the coming future. Chloe, one interesting point you said, and I just picked up that you said when just at the beginning, like you have some tracking system. You have some tracking system, then how the students are learning, and it's both for the students and educators. So, would you like to tell us a bit about this? I mean, what is this tracking system, and maybe in brief, how does it work, and how exactly it is helping? If that's okay to share.
Of course. So we have data analytics, and this really consists of all the different lessons and the different activities, different simulations that we have throughout the Immersify platform are all linked to certain elements of assessments and success and different scoring systems. We also have lesson points that are linked to different questions. So every time they'll do a question, they can then go back to that particular lesson and redo that lesson again if they didn't get full score on those questions, for example. So this is very much a spider web that we have throughout the platform, which is linking all these different elements and different learning activities. And so the data analytics system that we've built, which is accessed via us internally, and we also any universities that we partner with, their faculty and staff member can access the back-end data analytics system within their own portal as well, so they can see how many times a student attempted an assessment, whether that be multiple choice questions, it could be flashcards, it could be simulations, so they can see exactly how many attempts it took them then, and what scores they got. You can also see how many times they went through a full lesson, if they completed the lesson, if they struggled with the lesson, and then everything as well from a US mapping system. We map to the CODA standards, so making sure that everything is mapped accordingly to the right CODA standard throughout the platform, and then it brings up which CODA standards have been passed, that have been, they've done well in, or maybe they need some more education in those areas. And the same for the UK, we map to the GDC learning standards. So we very much make sure that whichever country we're working with and in, we've mapped accordingly. And that's where the data really picks everything up. And so, yeah, you can see you can see micro and macro results of data. So as mentioned earlier, in regards to that evidence-based data and how are these technologies really supporting the individual students as well as the full cohort of classes, you can see all of that. So you can withdraw reports, upload it into your LMS system. So you can work with the data and really assess it then as faculty and staff members. You can really say, what have we done well on this semester and what needs to be improved? But the other couple of things to mention is you can get updates on a daily basis. So really tracking day to day, week to week, month to month, and then thinking about, okay, how did this compare to the last cohort? Have we done as well as, or is there something we've changed and it's not done as well? So making sure that comparison can be there. Yeah, I would say, I think data is a very, very, very important element of anything that we use. And so being able to see that very broadly and also in a comprehensive way is very critical for universities, faculties, and students themselves, of course, to understand how well they are progressing throughout their course. So thinking about, as you mentioned, we get to an exam and there might be a student that hasn't done as well, but they've been doing really well throughout the time. But actually, how do we know they've been doing really well? Do we just know they're doing well because they're reading the resource materials? Do we think they're doing well because they're turning up to class? Do we think we're doing well because on the certain assessment we give them maybe one time during a semester, we know then they've done okay on that? Actually, we need to know much, much more. And I think as educators, if we can be in control of knowing more, we can do more. And so that's really what we're doing, is we're giving educators and students more control, more confidence in how they're learning and teaching. So very much arming them, and as I always mention, empowering them as well.
Amazing. This is amazing. And definitely it's a game changer for students as well, because like you said, that the confidence, and for the educators also, sometimes just with the normal curriculum delivery, the evaluation systems, as educators also, we are not able to get the 100% picture of what's going on with the student. And this interesting point that I got from here, what you said, is that day to day, daily, I mean, data that comes up on a daily basis about the student. This is This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Thank you, Chloe, for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
So, a different question. I know that you are an entrepreneur. You have a family, and you are a leader. So, how do you balance into so many roles? I would really like to know that.
Yeah, of course. I think it's I think firstly being organized. I think we have to be very organized, understand what type of day, week, month we really are going to have or really want. Um, I think definitely organization is one of the key things. I also think, alongside that is being passionate about what we do. So having waking up with a purpose. I love what I do in my role with Immersify. I know every day that we can make a difference to students and for educators and really support. So I always wake up with this passion and also this purpose in my mind. What How can we make a difference today? How can we make a difference this week? How can we make a difference this month? And so I always think of also being as grateful as we can be. So, having a beautiful family, having amazing people, family, friends around us, and also having amazing, co-workers, having the people that are going to be there to support you throughout this journey, because entrepreneurship is not an easy journey. Building a company is very hard. It really is. And I think sometimes I also don't think, people, we talk as much about how hard it is to juggle everything. Um, trying to make sure you respond back to your friend and not leave the message for weeks. Making sure that okay, I've got 5 minutes. What's my priority? So, yeah, I would say what I've really learned is prioritization. So, what can I really delegate as a leader that isn't going to the things that are not going to enable me to move the needle on that day, week, or month? What things can I take to really focus on to say, okay, these 3 things, I'm going to focus on these today. Of course, we have so much going on that it's hard to always be correct with what you prioritize. But I think if we can try, um, then yeah, we're setting ourselves up for as much success as we can. But yeah, I would also say just having a natural ability, I think, of dealing with being resilient. I think having that resilience every day of thinking, okay, I might have not got the best email this morning, but can I change this today? Can I change and can I cancel that out ever so slightly by making the needle move on these other things that I'm working on? So I think trying to have as positive outlook as possible, because it is a hard journey. So, and I think sometimes, you're guilty if you don't spend enough time on one thing, you have too much time on another. So I think trying not to be too hard on ourselves as well. So yeah, it's always a juggle, but you just have to try your best.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you. So many points of alignments when you were speaking. So it's hard. Entrepreneurship is really hard. Yeah. What do you think if somebody is trying to get into the edtech industry as an entrepreneur? What most important personal qualities they should have, or rather, I should put it in another way, like what kind of skills they should acquire? Because I think I see and I think a lot of young people are seeing this space as a good opportunity, and it is a good opportunity. So maybe your few words of motivation or your experiences will help many people to learn about this. So would you like to share some points on this?
Yes, of course. I would say, I think, firstly, I think I mentioned before having resilience. I also think looking for opportunities. When I started out my entrepreneurial journey, I was very inquisitive on all lots of different areas. So, as mentioned earlier, I didn't have a background in technology, but I was really interested in, well, how do we build augmented reality? Where do we start? So, of course, I needed to learn these aspects to understand who do I employ, what type of developer do I engage with, what do I need to build this? So I had to really, I wouldn't say I needed to, I didn't need to go on a program for 3 years to try and understand these technologies. But what I did need to do is I needed to seek out the right people to learn from. So I would say if you are interested in getting into the ed tech space, I think firstly seeing a gap in the market that is really needed. So something maybe you have experienced personally. I think experiencing something personally is probably the best place to start. So if you are an educator and you're like, I could create this area would be, it improved 10% of the world's population in education by just changing this ever so slightly. I don't think it has to be something that is world changing, but it can absolutely, if it changes even a small proportion of the education space, then it's absolutely got a place in the education system. So I think just thinking about where in what areas you're working in, do you feel differences could be changed, and how could you do that? And yeah, I would say seek out people to just support, to just give you some feedback. So, those people that have been doing it years and years in education, and they've created something that they've been able to maybe scale globally or done very well in a niche area, reach out to those people and say, how did you do it? Where did you start? So I think I've always been the type of person to just send an email, and if they respond, they respond. If they don't, they don't. Like, if they do, you could be doing really well off that. You could then have a call, you could find out information. So I personally feel there's a couple of things I would have even done differently previously, even though I did a lot of networking and a lot of outreach. I One piece of advice I would probably give any entrepreneurs is, firstly, every single thing you do, whether that's just, them emails you send, but you're not sure if they're going to hit or they're going to even resonate, send them, and you just never know what's going to happen. And every single thing you do every day, every little piece of information you put out into the world or you learn, you are always progressing. So as small as it is, everything builds up. So yeah, I just wouldn't be scared. Send those emails, send those messages, see if people, because I think people are really eager to help. I think we have a lot of amazing people in the world that want to help each other. And so I think just leaning into that, and I think you can do very, very well.
Thank you, Chloe. Thank you so much for these wonderful insights, because I think it is very helpful. And I completely agree with you that there are people who are ready to help. And it's our duty to put in consistent effort to find them out, and what we are seeking as entrepreneurs, because that is how you will learn. Of course, education, a formal, maybe a business or marketing course will teach you only the fundamental principles. No course in the world, I think, teaches you uh, what entrepreneurship teaches you. And an email, I absolutely agree with you, it works, it definitely works, but yeah, we just have to strive. Thank you for those advice. So, Chloe, one thing I would like to, if you would like to share, I would like to learn from you is that what is your model of business at this point with Immersify, collaborating with universities, and what are your future plans for expansion, and how are you planning it? I mean, if that's a feasible question to be answered. Yeah.
Of course. So how we work with current online programs, universities, colleges, we are a SaaS business, so we're a subscription business. Universities, we're a B2B predominant business. So our universities are our partners, our customers. And they would adopt Immersify for the students. We do give it for faculty for free as well. So really making sure that faculty can have full access. We also include all the data in the subscription model as well. So all the data is included. So we really feel that is a really important key. I think a lot of companies have a subscription model, but equally then data's extra and there's other add-ons. But we very much want to streamline it and make sure that data is included in what we're doing. And so we then universities would adopt, they would be able to work with so we have a publishing arm to the company as well. So we have a lot of experts in-house. So we have a lot of authors, specialists, experts in lots of different areas. And so we have teams of content writers, quality assurers all over the world. So we have hundreds. And thinking about like our peer-to-peer reviewed content, evidence-backed dated content, etc., that's all put into the platform. That's then, of course, that includes all the simulations or the assessments or the quizzes. So everything is, as mentioned, really comprehensive. And then universities will embed that and adopt that into either the curriculum, or some will have it as supplementary access and resource. We always feel having sort of it being mandatory and embedded into different modules and curriculums works really well. We've done UCLA did a really impactful project, should I say, a research project on us, and that showed significant increase in student outcomes and confidence over a 12-month period, and just things like that. Thinking about how our platform's evidence-based and really backed up with data. And so the universities can really then use the platform to support their lectures, their workshops. If they're doing any flipped classrooms, it's perfect for that, flipped learning. Students can use it at home, on the bus, on the train, wherever they are. So and then, of course, this can be embedded into different presentations that faculty, teaching staff will be using as well on a daily basis. So, yeah, that's really how it's used and really embedded. And, of course, just making sure that, we can take time away from the faculty and staff needing to build lots of different resources internally. And the students can go to something that is expertly done, comprehensive, isn't segmented. They're not trying to build also their own revision tools, because everything is already built in, and they can put the content into a revision area or study area. So it's very comprehensive for both teaching, both educators and students. So dentistry was our first academic area, of course, that we started in, because that's really where I saw the gap in the market and came from my background. Since then, we've expanded into nursing. So nursing being even though there is resources in nursing, it's a very segmented resource landscape. So we're building a very comprehensive resource. So all the content is in one place, simulations are in one place, data, etc. So in nursing, we have now, we've been now expanding that through last year and more into this year. The other area we've most recently as well expanded into is the physician's associate market in the US. So we've just started working with a couple of universities in the US, and thinking about these different healthcare areas. Healthcare is definitely one of our big areas that we've absolutely started in. And what I really enjoy, why I really enjoy expanding into these different healthcare areas as well, is that interdisciplinary approach. So how can we take some of these learnings from nursing, PA, medicine, and include this into dentistry? And the other way around, thinking about oral health, how can, different professionals in healthcare understand more about how, dentists, hygiene therapists, nurses have to work on a daily basis, if they had to do referrals, hospital referrals, as an example. So really that interdisciplinary learning and teaching approach as well, I think that's going to be a really big change moving forward, and I think it's going to be a change for good. Where we are also going as a company is we are, of course, expanding into other academic areas. So we have 32 other academic areas on our roadmap. And then we also, of course, are expanding into different areas in terms of geographical expansion. So we're very much focused currently right now, UK, Europe, in the markets. However, the other markets we're really exploring now, and where we're getting traction from is the Middle East. So Dubai, Saudi, for example. Also, the other market is India. So we've had a lot, of course, traction and interest from India. So just a couple of other markets we're currently doing research in and understanding the markets more closely.
And thank you for sharing your plan. And I'm sure that with time, the kind of impact Immersify is going to create, I think that would be commendable, because you are not living, you are not just touching upon dentistry, but I think it becomes more comprehensive. And I completely agree with you on the interdisciplinary part. And I think if we have a platform like this, which probably we don't have some popular platforms at this point. I'm not very aware of it. Maybe some websites or something is there, but not this kind of a platform, because if I am interested in certain topic of medicine and I'm a dental student, I have no, I will not make an effort until unless I need it. So but when we have that availability on a platform, that makes life easier, and probably out of interest I might go and click and see what's there, or access that resource. I think this is fantastic. So yeah, one last question, picking up what you said, like, because I understand that right now you are almost standalone, a pioneer in the market, and probably you will get competitors in the future. That's how businesses would be. But just out of my inquisitiveness, in because we are into content marketing and digital marketing. So do you face any specific problems when it comes to marketing of Immersify? Because what I understand, it's related to a little bit of behavior changes, or mindset changes are the first point. So is there, would you like to share that, if it's there?
Yeah, I would probably say we are changing this, but I would like to probably highlight one of the challenges or something we spotted that we changed because we saw it as somewhat a challenge, and we were doing this type of marketing for a while, and actually it didn't necessarily hit the spot of where we really wanted it to be. So we were very much leaning on it being a product first marketing. So the product always wows people because it's really immersive, it looks great, it's we have amazing animators, 3D modelers, lots amazing team internally that really can showcase what we're doing as a company. So from a marketing point of view, it's great to show all these the shiny things that look amazing as a company. However, when you then show the product, you really do have to understand how it's going to be used. So what is the value of that? What is the substance? What's the rationale behind it? Where does the content come from? I'd say there's definitely been changes that we've made internally with our marketing to really try and lead with, well, this is, you go back to, I suppose, building businesses. You have a problem and then you solve it as an entrepreneur. And so you always know yourself there is a problem and the solution.
Thank you, Chloe, for sharing this with me. And any last notes that you would like to share to the world before we close this conversation? Though I don't want to let you go, but yeah.
Yeah, I would just say, I think lean into the changes in educational technology. And within education, the world is changing, and so are students. They're changing dramatically, and very, very quickly. And so I would definitely say, for my fellow educators out there and students, lean into these technologies and really see how they can help you. And even if you're learning just a bit more each day about how can I utilize this, how can this make my life easier, how easier meaning just less stress and less them having to do as much on a daily basis, because as educators we always have so much to do. So I would just say to anyone interested in the space, just learn more about why educational technologies are being introduced to different programs and the reasons for it, and don't back away, just lean in.
Thank you, Chloe. Thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you today, and I hope and I wish all the best for Immersify. And as you are globally expanding, I hope we see Immersify in India as well. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.